Motorhead Garage, the program that each week introduces you to and shows you how to install the latest in exciting and innovative products for your vehicle. Now here's your host, Dave Dobson.
This is Motorhead Garage presented by Dragonfire Tools. Thanks for tuning in. If you've got a motorcycle or maybe a classic car that sits around for a long time, maybe your daily driver is sitting out where mice can get to it. And mice love the wiring in cars. They love to find a cozy place. And when they get in there, Matt, they can cause thousands of dollars of damage. So you created Mouse Blocker, which protects your vehicle. We'll talk about the other things on this table, but first I want to talk about something new. You're always listening to your customers. So what have they been asking for?
We have stuff for cars. We have stuff for shops now. We have stuff for warehouses, lawnmowers, tractors, everything in between. We didn't have something for outside. So that's where we came up with the Mouse Blocker 360.
So you're talking carports or maybe an RV or something like that?
Exactly. You can place it under an RV now, under a camper, under a boat, in a carport. It's water resistant. It gets rained on. It's okay.
And it can sit in the center there because you've got speakers all the way around. And how does it work?
Speakers all the way around, long power cord now, so you can set it way underneath whatever it is. This projects whisper quiet sounds, but heavy vibrations that disrupt the rodent's central nervous system. It makes it uncomfortable for them to be there.
So again, the 360 keeps them out of the area, but this is the original Mouse Blocker here. This actually goes in the vehicle. So let's talk about how those work and how they work together.
So what happens is if we only use this, sometimes inside the vehicle becomes a safe bubble in a violent space. So step one, we always recommend making that safe bubble violent and then the space around it very uncomfortable. So they're designed really well to work together. And that goes with the Mouse Blocker 1000. That was our original large space unit. And again, up to 1,000 square feet. So a simple 2-car garage, one of those, coupled with the Mouse Blocker Pros, keeps them moving. In today's vehicles, there's tons of wiring harnesses and engine covers and safe places for them to hide. But they're in there because it's warm, it's safe, and they're away from their predators. But they're aggravated because they're teething all the time, like a baby or a puppy. So they're looking for anything to chew on. Wiring harnesses are everywhere, causes big, big problems.
And what is, some of the folks you're talking to that have RVs and maybe motorcycles, what kind of damage are we talking about here? What can a mouse do?
Oh my gosh. I mean, if they get into an RV or into a car, and it's thousands of dollars. I mean, in some cases, it could be totaled, especially if you don't catch it quick enough, because the rodents now multiply and then they'll infest the space.
Recap a little bit here. You have the Mouse Blocker Pro, which was the original Mouse Blocker, and those go inside the vehicle. So you've got two different versions of it. What's the difference?
Yeah, so here's our 12-volt version. This is for your daily or weekly driver. So wires right to the battery, turns on automatically when you shut the vehicle off to protect the car. Long-term storage, something like this here that's sitting for a while, we have a plug-in version of it. Just plug it into an extension cord, a power outlet to protect that vehicle.
So during the weeks where you're not, or during the winter when you're not driving your Corvette, you put it in there and it'll keep the mice away.
Exactly.
What can a person hear when this is in their car?
Great question. These are actually audible to many humans because we've maxed out the intensity. And these also include our proprietary eviction mode. So at 115 decibels, this is a serious deterrent. To us, it sounds like a little squeak or almost like a little siren that you'll hear. But it's nice because then you know it's working when when you walk past the vehicle.
So then you work out from the inside of the vehicle. You want to protect your garage or your space. That's when you want to go to the 1000 here, and that's for indoor use. And then of course now we have the 360, and it's not just for carports and garages. Where are people using this?
Basements, attics, barns, under mobile homes, under a boat, in RV parks. These are whisper quiet too, so it's not going to bother people.
And I could just hear people out there saying, well, I don't have a problem with mice. Why do I need a mouse blocker?
Well, see, that's the thing. When you have a problem with mice, and now it's a big problem. And it's way harder to evict than it is to deter. And this is simple insurance.
Well, Matt said it perfectly. It's a lot easier to deter mice than to evict them. Get the Mouse Blocker. Go to mouseblocker.com. We'll be right back with more Motorhead Garage presented by DragonfireTools.com, so don't go anywhere.
Motorhead Garage, presented by DragonFireTools.com, is brought to you by AMSOIL, the first in synthetics, Shade Wagon, throw some shade, and by DragonFireTools.com, industrial workbenches with integrated tool storage.
Now, what would happen if my Bugatti ran into my McLaren, but really not on, kind of on the side there? Well, that would be a terrible thing because they're high-dollar cars. But let's take the Bugatti, and go smack into the brick. Wow. Welcome to this AMSOIL Tech Tip. Yeah, we're talking about airbags, and that matters. Let me show you why. Let's do it again. Let's go ahead and take the Bugatti, and it's all about delta V, change in velocity. If I hit this car right here and it's not really a high delta V, your airbags may not even deploy. But if that Bugatti runs into the brick, well, what's going to happen is you got a crash sensor on the front. You actually have a module here that goes forward. A little inertia spring deploys. Those two things happen. Bam, airbag happens. Now, what happens when the airbag deploys? All kinds of stuff is going on there. You can see the left impact sensor, crash sensors, modules, clock springs. The airbag itself, well, there it is in the steering wheel. There's a little squib. I have one right here. This is a driver's side airbag. Now, this is usually a nitrogen charge. The squib's located back here. Once it deploys, boom, it's off. Passenger, a little bit different. Usually, argon gas back here, all the way across the passenger side, deploys a little bit easier, and it's designed to deploy a little bit differently. Now, we actually deployed one of them, which was really, really cool. It happens fast, so keep your eyes on the airbag. 3, 2, 1, boom, like that. Now, that wasn't too great, but watch the Bugatti over there and the brick that we have on our table. Notice after it deploys, look at that. That thing's flying 3, 4, 5, 6 inches off the bricks off the table itself. So there's a lot of force behind an airbag. Now, an airbag also works in conjunction with seat belts. You have inertia on the seat belts when the airbag deploys, or you have pyrotechnics, and the pyrotechnics are actually going to pull that back, so it's yanking you back in the seat, the airbag deployed, and man, you're rolling safe. Len, it's all about safety, and I know AMSOIL builds a huge safety net into all their products.
We do. We provide the safety net so the customer does not have to worry. So, kind of in the same vein that you're talking about, we put these oils in situations that people would never put them in. We overheat them. We beat them up in a way that you could never do that. Generally with heat and time, that's the two ways that you can kill an oil. You can get it hot and you can leave it in for an extended period of time until it basically just degrades. So we take care of that so the customer never has to, and we apply that to all of our products, fuel additives included.
Nice. Well, you know, you wouldn't drive without seatbelts. That would be reckless. You don't want to drive your engine with some junky oil in there. That would be reckless as well. So for a trusted, tested, proven product, go to AMSOIL.com.
My name is Mark Sturdivant, and this is my '67 Camaro. It was originally a drag car up in New Hampshire that my son brought home. It was pretty close to being ready for the junkyard when I rescued it, and that seems to be a bad habit of mine, rescuing unwanted cars. Keeps me out of trouble. I built the engine. It was the spare engine for my race car, and we put it into this car. The engine is a 350 30 over. It's got a comp cams, big mother cam in it, roller rockers, Muncie 4-speed. It's got a 12-volt posi with 355 gears in it, four-wheel disc brakes. It's quite a lot of fun to drive. It's a very unique year. It's the only year with a wing window. It's the only year that doesn't have side marker lights. My understanding is that Camaros are going to be obsolete after the end of this year, so this is the first one, and I wish I could afford to buy one of the last ones.
Motorhead Garage, presented by DragonFireTools.com, coming to you from the Shade Wagon studio.
And now, our weekly trivia question, brought to you by the Shade Wagon. We'll have an answer for you later in the show, and remember, it's not fair if you look it up. That is cheating. This is Motorhead Garage, presented by DragonFireTools.com. And this is a cell phone, of course. We all have them, and you're a motorhead, so I know you love to be in your car. So what do you do with your phone when you're in your car? You've got a lot of options, right? You can put it on the magnet on the dash. That's on your vent. It's going to block your vent in the summertime. That's a bad deal. In the wintertime, it's going to fry your phone. And you can put it in your cup holder. You can put it on your lap. But, of course, you know you're going to drive it. It's going to fall into the crack there, and you'll never see it again. And half of the states, Scott, in the union don't allow you to hold it in your hand anyway, and that's a bad idea. So what's my solution? What can I do?
So you put it in a cell phone seat. Cell phone seat is the newest device on the market. It is a single piece of plastic that's got a flexible base. All you got to do is flex this and pop it in your cup holder and release it. It's going to lock in there, and then guess what? Now you're legally hands-free. You can just drop your phone in there like that. You can also go horizontal. You got power cord access here, and here's the best part. Cell phone seat does not block your cup holder. You still have room for your drink.
Whoa, that is cool. And it's so simple. Why didn't somebody think of this before?
I don't know. It was exactly the same with me. I was driving in my neighborhood in my truck. I threw my phone in my cup holder like most people do, and it landed in some kind of a goo, you know, from my kid's squeeze pack. And I pulled my phone out, and I was kind of annoyed, and I thought, why isn't there a better solution? And kind of this idea popped in my head, and I went home to look for it. You go home and you look online, and I was like, this has to exist. It didn't exist. I couldn't figure out why. So I decided to draw it out, you know, much to my wife's dismay, as she's looking over my shoulder saying, what are you doing? What are you doing? I was like, I got an idea. So I drew it out. I found actually a designer that could do 3D AutoCAD type designs, and we 3D printed them just to test it out. And I got the first one I remember that was 3D printed, and it was huge. It was like this big. And the guy that was kind of helping me with the designs felt bad. He's like, I messed it up, it's too big. I was like, no, send it, let me see it. I need to know if this works. Sure enough, I put the big one in my cup holder. Even though it was giant, it worked perfectly. So we kept going, and as you can see now, we have the final version. It took about 6 years to actually get this just right. But now we have a universal cell phone mount that fits in about 90% of vehicle cup holders, holds pretty much any phone, phones with cases, any type of phone, phones with accessories, pop sockets, loopies, doopies, sloopies, whatever you got. This one simple device is going to work for most everything.
What are some of the little extras you put a lot of thought into to keep the phone in place there?
Sure. So the first thing we did was we cut out these side slots here, and that's going to allow you to put your phone in there horizontal. Interestingly enough, it also works with tablets in that horizontal slot. We put this in my son's cup holder on his car seat, and he can put his iPad in there for long road trips. We put a flexible tab here that's going to put a little pressure on the phone, so it's going to hold phones in there, you know, phones without cases, smaller phones, it's going to hold those in a little bit tighter. And then it also can flex back when you have bigger cases like this. This is an iPhone 14 Pro with a wallet on it. It's going to be able to flex back and hold those in there as well. Those bigger cases with OtterBox cases, it's going to be able to push that tab back and hold that in as well. We have power cord access here, so obviously people want to be able to charge their phone in the car. And I like the fact that this sits in your cup holder. Your power cord is staying down here to the side. A lot of newer cars have those flexible tabs in their cup holders, or those rubber kind of squares. So we cut the slots out here to allow those tabs to go right in there, and they work great. It's so fun to put this in when you have those spring-loaded tabs and hear it just click in place like it's meant for it. But that doesn't mean that you need those tabs. It's going to work with cup holders without the tabs or without the rubber things as well. You know, it's going to work in a lot of different cup holder styles as long as they're between about 2.5 to 4 inches in round, which pretty much
Most of them are, right?
Most of them are.
You put so much thought into the design. How much thought did you put into the materials that you're using as well?
We talked about doing, you know, different types of plastics. We talked about doing different types of materials like rubber. We landed on ABS plastic, which is the same thing that Legos are made out of. It's a very non-toxic, safe plastic, right? Because kids play with it. And if you've ever stepped on a Lego in the middle of the night, you know how strong ABS plastic is.
Guilty as charged.
This is a very strong, well-made device. It's going to work in extreme heat. It's going to work in, you know, extreme cold. It's a very universal material.
It's a veteran-owned company. The product is made in America, and this is going to make things a lot safer and more convenient for you when you're behind the wheel. It is called the cell phone seat. You can find it at cellphoneseat.com. Now, we asked you a question a few minutes ago. Now, here is your much-anticipated answer. We hope you got it right. This trivia courtesy, as always, of the Shade Wagon. Keep it right here for more Motorhead Garage presented by DragonFireTools.com.
Motorhead Garage, presented by DragonFireTools.com. Industrial workbenches with integrated tool storage. And brought to you by PaintedAutoBodyParts.com, the leading U.S. auto body parts online store. PulseTech Products, world's best battery charger. And by Summit Racing Equipment. Build it with Summit Racing Equipment, the world's speed shop.
You know, we've seen how Tribotex can do amazing things for all vehicles. But Pasha, that's not what you set out to research when you developed Tribotex, was it?
We looked at the applications of safe materials in hip implants. If you know, the teeth and hips have completely different application. Teeth as hard as you can get, and hips is a very soft, special material that usually outlasts teeth in a normal person. The miracle of that cartilage material gave us an insight what we can do to bring it to other applications, like industrial ones. We bought drive cars, was fixing cars, working on all applications, performance, advanced ones. So when you can feel a difference in the car, that really sparks your attention.
What was it like when you thought, oh my gosh, I can use this in my vehicle?
Actually, it was opposite. We used in the vehicle and see, wow, it really works, and showed dramatic results. The vehicle got quieter right away, and then when we build up the film over time, we saw improvement in performance, gain over time, and then we started to actually drift all research toward how we can make that vehicle application by far better and growing. And it has become part of our culture, just vehicle applications.
Well, vehicle applications, Brian, you're the pro at this.
Yeah.
You've got a number of vehicles. You've used them, including a race vehicle. It's pretty unusual.
I mean, it's a Toyota Prius. It's not necessarily considered a race vehicle.
Brian Hansen is the lead engineer at Tribotex, and he gets a lot of emails. I got a chance to look through them, Brian, and I picked out some of the most popular emails you get. And the first one is a question that I ask anytime I'm going to put anything near my vehicle. Is it safe for my vehicle?
It's safe for all vehicles. Doesn't matter if you have a performance car, an off-roader, or a daily driver, this thing is safe in any engine. Took us many years to develop it and make sure that it will be safe in any engine now and in the future.
Even my old classic car?
Your old classic car is going to love it. They removed lead from the fuel. That was a good lubricant. We've used zincs and such. This nanoparticle is superior to that technology, and it's a non-toxic, so you don't have to worry about its environmental impact.
You know, oil weights have changed a lot. It used to be just throw whatever oil you want in the car, and now new cars are so particular about what they need. So does it work with the brand new cars as well?
Yes. One of the best things about Tribotex is that it is a small amount of particles that are a lot of particles in a very small tube. So we do not change the behavior of your oil. It doesn't matter if you use Tribotex with synthetic or conventional oils. We do not manipulate the oil. We just use it as a carrier for our nanoparticles.
And another question that gets asked a lot, how long does Tribotex last? One dose, I guess, you put in your car.
Tribotex is terrible for us, but great for the people because it ends up lasting in your engine for over 40,000 miles. We recommend it maybe once every year, but really you can go a couple years without needing another application.
How do I know this isn't some snake oil I'm going to put in my car? What is going to indicate to me right away that it's working?
A lot of people in about 15 minutes of running will notice that their engine will get smoother, quieter, and in time you will see a performance increase because of the combustion efficiencies are going to up a little. So we're going to see better efficiencies inside the cylinder walls. You're going to have less friction. You're going to hear less lifter noise. You're going to have easier starts in the winter. There's lots of benefits that come from this tiny little tube.
And what are some of the benefits I'm going to see long term?
Long term, your car's not going to die. It's going to keep going. If you accidentally run out of oil, we do not recommend that. But in some cases, we've had customers come to tell us that they have survived and made it to a shop without oil.
But you don't have to do the research yourself because these guys actually have it on their website.
Yeah, we actually have all of our scientific papers on our website. We've worked with national laboratories and we've been proven in many other engineering labs and are currently being tested in some very large companies right now.
NASA?
NASA actually gave us a spin-off. They published us this last year. So if you type in Tribotex NASA, you will find us on the internet.
These guys are the real deal. How much should we use in any engine at any given time?
Okay, that's a good question. A lot of people have different sized engines and it's hard to find a product that's just right. Our Tribotex Original, which is this middle-sized one, is really good for anything between like a 2-liter and a 6-liter engine. It's a little thin on the bigger side or a little heavy on the small engines, but it's totally fine for all of that. Any excess will just drain out with your oil and it will build up as much as you need. If you don't have enough, we have a satisfaction guarantee. Hit us up, we might get you another tube for you. And also, if you have a small engine, like below 2-liter, we have a Tribotex Mini, which is often great for 4-wheelers, motorcycles, snowmobiles, lawnmowers. These things are great for small cars. The Toyota Prius that I race, my Tribotex Mini works great.
We talk about oil. There's all kinds of oils out there, and for cars that have been around for a while, there is the high mileage oil.
Yeah.
Should I use that for my older vehicle when I'm using Tribotex?
You can use any oil, but we recommend using just a normal oil. Now, high mileage oils have special additives in it, which can compete with Tribotex nanoparticles. The Tribotex nanoparticles are going to be superior to those particles that you're going to find in your oils.
And I saw a few people writing in asking when they should add Tribotex. Is it every fill up, every oil change? How often?
I recommend using it after an oil change. Get a fresh set of oil and blend the Tribotex with a quart of oil to get it to disperse quicker into the engine. When you add it to your engine, you need to run it for about 500 miles at least. Give it a couple thousand better, and then it will stay in your engine for over 40,000 miles.
Well, Tribotex is going to make your engine perform better. It's going to actually repair your older engines, and it's going to make your car last longer. Check them out at Tribotex.com.
To be our paintedautoparts.com Motorhead of the Week, all you have to do is go to motorheadgarage.tv or send me a note directly at dave@motorheadgarage.tv. That's exactly what David Seal did. I checked my inbox, and he sent me a note and some photos of his 1970 Dodge Challenger 340 six-pack. Now, only 2,900 of these were made, and only 340 of them were painted in Panther Pink. Brand new, the car made 290 horsepower, and of course they call it a six-pack because of the 3 two-barrel carburetors on top. And David told me he's been working on the car for about 5 years. Looking great, David. Can't wait to see it when it is finished. Thank you for writing in, and thank you for being our paintedautoparts.com Motorhead of the Week. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week for another edition of Motorhead Garage presented by DragonFireTools.com. So long.